Welcome to your life as a pleasure slave in ancient Egypt. You are standing still. Your chin is lifted by someone's hand. A man turns your face toward the light. His eyes move over you the way a merchant inspects a jar of grain. Look at her, he says to someone behind him. She will be worth more soon. You don't understand the words, but your father is standing 3 steps away, and he doesn't look at you. That silence tells you everything. Your name is Nefaret. It means beautiful. Your mother chose it standing in a field outside a village so small it never appeared on any scribe's map. You were born near the Nile. Your father wove linen. Your mother carried water. Your brothers chased birds away from the grain. The house had 3 rooms and a ceiling low enough that your father had to bend when he walked through the door. You were happy in the way that poor people are happy, not with music or gold, with bread, with ordinary things that ask nothing of you. That was before the drought. The first year, your father said not to worry. The second year, he stopped saying anything. You watch him sit at the edge of the field at dusk, staring at the cracked earth. His shoulders carry something invisible and heavy. Meals grow smaller, then smaller still. Your younger brother asks for more bread, and your mother looks away. You are 8 years old, and you understand that something is breaking. Then strangers begin visiting. 2 men, well-dressed, clean sandals, gold rings catching the afternoon light. They never speak to you. They stand in the yard and watch you move. You carry water from the canal and feel their eyes following every step. You set the jar down, and they say something to your father in low voices. Your father nods once, slowly, like a man agreeing to something he cannot refuse. They leave. Your mother disappears into the house. You hear nothing, but you feel it. Something has shifted. The next morning, your mother washes your hair twice. She rubs oil into your skin. A good oil, one she keeps for ceremonies. You ask her why. She says nothing. She just keeps working. Your dress is changed. She holds your face and straightens your chin. Stand like this, she says. You stand. Don't look down, she says. You look forward. She corrects you again, and again, and again. That night, you hear whispers behind the closed door. Your father's voice. Your mother's voice. You press your ear to the wall. The whispering stops. You stand there for a moment, hand flat against the warm mud brick. Then you go back to your mat and stare at the ceiling. You don't sleep. Level 1, the price. Weeks pass. The strangers return. This time they bring a third man who writes on a piece of papyrus with fast, certain strokes. They speak to your father for a long time. Your father holds a small cloth pouch. He opens it, counts something inside, closes it again. You are standing in the yard watching this. Nobody asks you to leave. Nobody asks you to stay. You are simply there, present and invisible. The man with the papyrus makes a final mark. Your father looks at the ground. Your mother stands in the doorway with her arms crossed over her chest, holding herself. Your younger brother is sitting in the dust, unaware, tracing patterns with a stick. Nobody says your name. The transaction takes less time than preparing a meal. That evening, your father sits beside you outside. He holds your hand for a long time without speaking. When he finally speaks, his voice is very quiet. He says it is a good life. He says you will be safe. He says the palace provides for its people. He says it is an honor. He says it so many times that you understand clearly he does not believe it. You press your hand flat against his palm and feel that it is rough and dry and shaking slightly. That night, you lie on your mat and listen to your mother cry in the next room. You do not cry. You press your face into the fabric and breathe. The next morning, before the sun fully rises, 2 women come. You carry a small cloth bundle. Inside, a wooden comb. Your father holds you so hard your ribs ache. Your younger brother waves from the doorway like you are going to the market, like you will be back by midday. You don't look back. You make yourself not look back, because if you look back, you will not go. And if you do not go, your family will not eat. So you put 1 foot in front of the other, and the village disappears behind a line of palm trees. Level 2, the training. The palace appears on the horizon like something from a story you were never supposed to enter. Walls so tall they cut the sky, painted in colors so vivid they seem to hurt. Red and gold and deep blue, columns rising out of sight. Servants move in every direction, carrying trays, carrying messages, never looking up, never stopping. A woman meets you at the inner gate, older, steady eyes. She looks at you the way the men in the yard looked at you. Her name is Hainut. She recites the rules in a voice that carries no emotion. You do not wander. You do not speak unless spoken to. You do not ask about the other women. You do not speak of your family. You learn quickly, she says, or you learn painfully. You nod. She leads you to a room where 6 other girls sit on mats, some younger than you, some older. One is crying quietly in the corner. No one speaks. You sit down and place your bundle on the floor beside you. You reach inside and press your finger against the blue bead. Still there, small, cold, real. Training begins the next morning before dawn. You learn how to walk. You already know how to walk, but not like this. You learn to pour wine without a drop falling wrong. You learn the correct angle for holding a fan. You learn to apply coal in a single unbroken line. You learn to sit in perfect stillness for long stretches of time. This is what it feels like. You are being taught how to disappear into the room without leaving it. How to be present without being a person. Hennet watches everything. On the 3rd day, she gives you a small nod. One nod. You hold on to it like a stone in your pocket. Weeks become months. The compound becomes familiar. The smell of incense. The sound of sistrums from the temple quarter. The way the Nile floods each year, Egyptian temples in this era use incense made from kaifi. You make one friend. Her name is Ited. She has a small scar on her chin from a childhood fall. She talks too much. She laughs at the wrong moments. She is the first person here who makes you feel like you still exist. You sit beside her at meals. You whisper after the lamps are lowered. Small things. Nothing important. It is enough. But you are not brought here to have friends. And the day they come for you arrives faster than you are ready for. Level 3. The Knights. You are 14 when Hinnet calls you aside. Her eyes move over you slowly. She says you are ready. You do not ask ready for what. You already know. 2 women arrive that evening. They bathe you in water that smells like flowers you cannot name. They oil your skin. They line your eyes. They set a gold cuff on your wrist and adjust your dress 3 times, not for your comfort, for the effect. One woman holds your face and looks at you. She says, "Breathe, just breathe." You are led down a corridor you have never walked before. Narrower, darker. A guard opens a heavy wooden door without looking at you. You walk in. You stand near the window. The oil lamp on the stone table flickers. You smooth your dress with both hands. You check the gold cuff. You wait. The door opens. He enters the room the way a man enters a room when the room belongs to him. Because it does. Because everything belongs to him, including you, and you have known this since the morning your father held your hand and could not meet your eyes. He does not speak immediately. You keep your gaze lowered the way you were trained. Your voice does not shake when you finally answer him. You are proud of that, just for a moment. But pride is a small, fragile thing in a room like this. You return to the women's quarters before dawn. You lie on your mat. You stare at the ceiling. Itet pretends to sleep, but she has left a small cup of water beside your mat. You drink it in the dark. You say nothing. She says nothing. You do not need to. Days continue. Routines continue. Oil, coal, corridor, waiting. At first you feel everything. Then you start feeling less. You notice this. You don't like what it means. But the noticing gets quieter too. The politics of the women's quarters move like water under stone. Slow, cold, constant. A woman named Kia has been summoned more times than anyone you know. She stops acknowledging you at meals after your third summoning. You understand the signal immediately. A woman named Nefaret begins sitting close to you. She brings extra bread. She asks gentle questions about your sleeping, your health, your moods. You understand those signals too. You give her answers that are true, but empty. The shape of conversation with nothing real inside. She cannot use what you don't offer. Henut notices. She pulls you aside one morning. She says you are smart. Not like a compliment. Smart women live long lives in this palace, she says. Foolish women do not. 3 weeks later, Itet falls sick. High fever. She cannot eat. You sit beside her mat at night when you should be sleeping. You press a damp cloth to her forehead. She is delirious for 2 days. On the third day, Nefaret appears beside you with a small clay jar. Medicine, she says. The healers prescribed it. It will help Ite sleep through the worst. She holds it out. You look at the jar. You look at Nefaret. You think about the gentle questions. The extra bread. The slow smile. You say you will let the healers administer it themselves. Nefaret's expression does not move. Of course, she says. She takes the jar and walks away. You never find out what was in it. Itet recovers. The night she finally keeps food down, she reaches over and takes your hand in the dark. You let her. Months pass. You are summoned again and again. And then something strange begins to happen. Days blur. You walk through them without weight. You eat. You train. You wait. You are called. You go. You return. You lie on your mat. The cup of water is there. You drink it. You sleep. You wake. And it begins again. You notice that you are no longer bracing for the sound of footsteps in the corridor. That used to frighten you. Now it simply registers like any other sound. You have stopped flinching at the things that once undid you entirely. You notice this. You don't like what it means, but you also don't stop. Then a girl disappears. Her name was Menet. She had been here longer than most. Older, quieter. One morning her mat is empty. You look at Itet. Ite looks at the floor. The absence fills the room like smoke. Everyone knows something. No one speaks it. You watch the other women carefully after that. Some move through the days with hollow eyes, like lamps that still burn but give no warmth. Some perform contentment so convincingly you almost believe it. You try to understand which one you are becoming. That thought follows you for days. Then one night something else arrives. A thought, small and cold, appearing before you can stop it. If I become pregnant, I won't know who the father is. You press your hands flat against your mat. You breathe. You tell yourself not to think it, but it stays. It is still there in the morning. It is there in the corridor. It sits beside every other thought and waits. The ancient Egyptians had medical texts, the Ebers Papyrus, listing contraceptive methods, including substances applied to prevent conception. Women in palace service were sometimes given access to these preparations, but not always, and not reliably. You think about this. You think about Manet's empty mat. You think about why she might have been moved. You don't like where the thinking goes, but you can't stop it now. Weeks pass. Something is different. At first, you tell yourself it is the food, the heat, exhaustion. You sit very still with your hands in your lap. You are pregnant. The silence in your body is enormous. You do not know who the father is. You say nothing. You tell no one, but your hands are shaking when you pour the wine that evening. Itate sees. She says nothing, but that night the cup of water beside your mat is larger than usual. You drink all of it. You stare at the ceiling until the light changes. Something has to change. You feel it with a certainty that surprises you. This cannot continue. Not like this. Not anymore. You start paying attention differently. How long the guard stands at the east entrance before rotating. When the lamps are replaced in the outer corridor. Which hours the inner courtyard goes quiet. You watch and wait and say nothing. Days pass. Weeks pass. You move through routines without changing them. You go where you are sent. You smile when required. But inside, Something is hardened. You think about your village, the palm trees, the smell of your mother's cooking fire. You try to remember your younger brother's face and realize it has started to fade. This frightens you more than anything else has. You press your hands against the wall at night and try to hold on to it.